Got it.
All right, all right. What's up, everybody? It is Mixed Company with a very special edition tonight on this dreary Thursday evening. If you're in Ohio, for those of you that are in other states, the weather is probably beautiful because Ohio sucks. But we are excited to have you all here viewing our very special edition of Mixed Company in collab with Dating Explained. KB, say hey.
Yo, 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 what's good? What's good? What's good?
So tonight we have a virtual speed dating event where we currently have a variety of singles that behind the scenes right now as we speak are speed dating, and we are really looking forward to and excited to hear about how this speed dating is going to go, what their experiences like, what these conversations are going to be like. And so they will be joining us after the dates, so make sure that you continue to stay tuned in while they are dating so that you can hear about their experience. But we also are going to have our regular Mixed Company featuring Dating Explained conversation today. So we have the great Ray Williams, my Mixed Company co-host, KB of Dating Explained, and a very special, the beautiful Jasmine, as our co-host today, because I am not hosting today. I'm actually about to jump on these good old speed dates. So this will be very interesting. So you guys have a great time. I'm about to peace out, and I will see you all later. Have fun.
Good
Thank you
luck. Good
both.
luck.
Thank you.
So, welcome to Mixed Company. Excited to be here this evening. So, we want to spark the conversation off just in the spirit of speed dating, right? Why, or let me rephrase that. Do you think it's okay to date multiple people, and why do you think that some people frown upon it? Can we put that on you first, Jazz?
Oh, we're gonna start off with me, ladies first.
You're the lady on the panel. I want to get your opinion about it because I know how I feel about it.
Okay.
And
so
tell everybody who you are. Tell everybody who you are to start.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Jasmine Bowdry. I am the founder and CEO of Shift Style House, a women's online lifestyle and apparel brand that I've been running since 2016. So, is this my personal opinion?
You can give your personal experience if you want.
Yeah, I want to hear from Jasmine.
Yeah. So me personally, right? It's not that I'm against like dating multiple people. I just personally can't keep up with like multiple people. Like I am grown and my memory is just not the same. And so I literally can't like remember shit that happened. Oh, can we curse? I curse a little bit. Stuff that happened, like last week. But I do recall, when I was a little spring chicken, that I was trying to date multiple people. And I would get dudes' stories all mixed up. Like I would get names confused and be like, nah, that wasn't me. So it was a bad look for me. It didn't make me look good. So I personally can't. And I don't really have that level of focus, trying to learn different stories and remember things. So for me personally, it doesn't work.
So you're saying because of a lack of ability, that's what you're saying, right? That's what it sounds like. If you had the ability,
it's lack of memory. It's lack of, that's a lot. Like, I don't see how guys do it, honestly. Like, and I know some ladies do it too. They'll have a whole roster, a whole starting five, and I just am unable.
It's definitely a skill in multitasking. You know what I'm saying? Like,
definitely. So like I keep notes, right? Like,
that's it.
I think notes are important. But no, seriously though, I think it's a little bit different for men and women, right? Like, so when you're being pursued, right? Like you don't necessarily have to take a vested interest in that man pursuing you. But for a guy, right? Like if I'm pursuing you, like there's strategy there, right? Like so there are things that I'm doing to intentionally attract this woman or this woman or this woman. I won't forget that. right? Like if you got this nigga buying you flowers and this nigga bought you dinner and this guy bought you a purse, right? Like you might forget who did that, right? But if I bought that purse, I'm not gonna forget that shit.
I don't remember you about that.
Yeah, so I do think that it's very different for men and women. I also think that like to define dating is important, right? Like so I'm an active non-dater. I think dating is stupid. I think that it is. I think women have destroyed the dating pool.
It's women's fault.
It's all y'all fault. So
Come on with it.
I like to do things in group settings. I like to to do non-traditional things. So dating for me, like by definition, is just not something that I would do anyway. So, but I don't think there's anything wrong with dating multiple people.
But the definition of dating would be to date multiple people, right? It's like to get to know and see different, what you like, what you don't like. I guess I don't date traditionally because I've tried to date multiple people before and it just doesn't.
Have you? Tell us about it. What happened, Jasmine?
Well, so when you start off, like for me, I feel like guys always start off, y'all always start off strong, right? And then it's like this decline. So in a way, it's like it was okay because if one or two dropped off, you still have another, one or two in the bag. But again, for me, it really came down to like, I don't want to learn all this stuff about this. Like, I got to learn this over here. I got to learn this over here. I got to learn this. Then I have to remember. And then there's just not that much time, in the day. Have all these conversations.
I got you.
KB,
what's your experience, KB?
Yeah, I'm feeling a lack of patience from Jasmine here, but I'm gonna let that go. You know what I'm saying?
Very much so.
And even from you, Ray, what I'm hearing is the guy is running the game, so he got to remember all the things, but the girl really the recipient of all that, so she ain't really got to remember all them things.
She don't. She don't really have a reason to if you're not memorable.
That's true. But I mean, for me, like I was heavily, like back in the day, I was heavily in the game, and it's crazy that it still affects me today. Like, cause I was a heavy note taker. Like I probably was OCD with dating and notes. Like I had a whole Facebook tag for yeah. So if I meet somebody, you could add like little groups on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Cause I wanted to make sure, I had everything right. So I had like a to-do group on there. You know what I'm saying? So if you in the to-do group, then I'm trying to do, you know what I'm saying? So I would have all them listed there in my phone so I can find everybody, you know what I'm saying? Then on the contact, I would leave like a little story of who the person is. So I remember everybody. And I'm gonna tell y'all a little story about that too. Story time. Right. So I always have my notes on people. I have notes from high school. And mine was mostly because I couldn't, like you said, Jasmine, I couldn't remember everything. So I had to take notes in order to like be successful at it. You know what I'm saying? Because once you meet somebody up, it's hard to come back from that. You know what I'm saying? Because people want to feel special and all that stuff, right? So I keep notes on everybody. So I'm on the dating apps, right? And I'm swiping right or left. I can't remember how it worked. I didn't spend that long on the dating apps or whatever. They were kind of, dating apps be lit. But I swipe right on this girl and we chatting and stuff, and I get her number, and then I end up calling her, and then I already had her number in my phone, but the name was different than the name she had on the app. Right. So I'm like, dang, did this like a repeat number or something? I'm like, that ain't it. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm reading the notes and I got the story. So I'm like, oh, okay. I gave all girls nicknames. So I had her nickname on my phone. And then I got a real name from the app. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have the text message. She sent me the text message stuff. So, and we connected on that. You know what I'm saying? And we end up hooking up. It was a crazy little story.
Long term or
yeah, that's my current girlfriend right now.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Let you tell that story? No,
I mean, shoot, that's what it
no,
was, bro. You know what I'm saying?
no,
So
yeah.
it was a cool little connection where the notes actually helped, and it's still like that was 2013 or 2014 when I met her.
Oh shit.
So that
That's
was crazy that like connected back. I was like, oh shit, that's nice.
yeah, that's long term. I
Mhm.
think ultimately, man, like I think transparency is super important, right? Like so if I'm dealing with young ladies, like I'm notorious for being upfront about my intentions. You know what I mean? Like, and I think when you are upfront about your intentions, it gives everyone the opportunity to decide whether they want to deal with it or not. You know, and so from that, like, if I fucked up something that wasn't your story, you would know that like it's probably someone else that I was dating. So
Mm.
I try not to get too deep into someone that I'm not interested in being with long term.
Mm.
Like I'm more of a like let's go out and have fun. Like I don't need to meet your parents if we're just gonna go out and have dinner and have sex. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
it's not it's not necessary to get to delve that deep into who you are.
Mm. Now let me ask y'all this: do y'all, if everybody dated multiple people, do you feel like the dating experience would be a little easier? Like if that was the norm, would that be easier for everybody?
So I'll take it a step further. I feel like if women dated men that they were actually interested in, then it would be like an even dating pool, right?
So you
Like
think women date people they
Right?
not
Do
interested
we
in?
date people we're not interested in?
hell fucking yeah. Y'all go out for meals, y'all go out to ride
Okay,
in a
okay,
nice
okay.
car, like y'all go out
Mm,
for reasons other than being genuinely interested in dating this guy.
Okay, so do
mm.
men, are they genuinely interested when they are dating multiple women?
So let me
Yeah.
say this to you, Jazz, and this is the harsh truth that I think a lot of women don't understand. Whether he fucks you on the first night or he marries you, that man's goal is to fuck you.
Well,
Whether he sleeps with you on the first night or he marries you, that man's goal is to have sex with you, right? Like we that's how men operate, right? Like we might want to have sex with you continually, long term. We might want that to continue, right? But whether he marries you or y'all go out that first time, he wants to have sex with you, right? So women don't operate in that from that same realm. You guys find things that you like about like you can like situational things, right? Like I like the way he talked to me. I like the poem he wrote for me or some shit. Guys don't operate like that, right? Like she's either bad and doing it for me or she's not.
And I think nowadays women go in kind of with that attitude too. Like they want to fuck too. Like straight up. They don't like it used to be like, yeah, men just trying to hit, but girls trying to hit too. You know what I'm saying? And we can have multiple goals. Like, some type of sexual chemistry need to be there. You know what I'm saying? We need to,
right.
we need to be singing the same song in the bedroom. But you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you want to build stuff with people depending on who the girl is. Some girls you don't want to build nothing with them. You're only interested in them physically. And I think a lot of people can't really discern where they are because dudes be playing the game and lying. You know what I'm saying? You said people need to be honest, but dudes playing the game lying and people believing that, and that's really fucking up the game. The dudes who can't be honest because they they don't know how to be honest and still get what they want.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
and I agree with you 100%, right? And I think that a lot of times guys feel that being honest and being an asshole are synonymous, and they're not, right? Like there are tactful ways to say or do anything. You know what I mean? Like you can tell a woman that you aren't interested in her romantically. You just want to hang out with her. You think she's pretty. Like, but if you're taking her out to dinner, right? And you guys have come to this realization and understanding, but I want a pretty babe on my arm and you want to eat. Like that's an understanding. But if you're acting like you like me and you don't, and you're just coming out just to eat, I feel like that's kind of a shitty situation.
Yeah. Hey, and I want to throw this out to Jasmine and Ray. I want to hear. So if a dude say, if he talk to a girl and he say, I ain't interested in a relationship right now, is that a non-honest statement, or is he saying that I don't want a relationship with you? How do you interpret that, Jasmine?
I interpreted that he is still playing the field, so I'm going to automatically assume that he is dating multiple women. And I typically don't date guys that say that they aren't looking for a relationship, because to me, the mindset means that we aren't on the same page, right? So if we aren't on the same page, then it's not going to grow into anything, because his mindset is, I'm trying to date this chick, this chick, and my mindset is, hey, you know, I'm dating with intention to eventually move into, you know, something serious, something permanent, marriage or something like that. So I feel for me, it's super important to be on the same page. So I feel like it's honest when a guy says that, and I've had guys that do say that. And kind of back to Ray's point, what he said earlier, it's giving us the option to then determine, do we want to stick around for that? Like, okay, hey, he said he's not looking for anything. She may not be either. So then they would probably be a good fit. But if one is looking for a relationship, because what's going to happen is either after he smashes or after they spend all this amount of time together, she's going to start thinking in her head that's her man, right? And then she's going to start acting like that's her man. And then what that is going to do is come back and be like, I told you I don't want a relationship. And then that's when it just gets all bad.
Yeah. So Jazz, I agree with you, right? But so I push back just a little bit, right, on looking for a relationship, right? Like, I don't think anybody should look for a relationship, but I think people that want it should be open to it, right?
Right.
And when you're open to it, you can receive things that you might not receive if you're closed off in that mindset of, I'm not looking for a relationship, right? So when I met Chris, like, I wasn't looking for a relationship, but I was open to one, right? And I called myself actively single. And what that meant to me was that, like, you had to be fucking special for me to stop doing the shit that I'm doing, right? And it was never even a conversation of, do you want to be my girlfriend? Because I feel like guys that say, like, I'm not looking for a relationship, well, you shouldn't do relationship type shit, right? Like, if you just want to fuck, do that. But, like, don't meet her mama, don't, like, you know, don't send her flowers, like, don't do relationship shit if that's not what you want to do. I feel like a lot of guys use that term of I'm not looking for a relationship to sort of have their cake and eat it too, right? So I'm not a fan of people saying they're not looking for a relationship. Like, if you're not looking for one, cool, right? But
you don't think it's hard to separate the two? Like I feel like it's hard to be like, don't do relationship shit. You know what I'm saying? Because people just looking for connection, and people just gonna do what feel right. So you saying, like, base don't do relationship shit, but you gonna cuddle with the girl, you gonna do all that stuff because that feel good.
But so that's when people are looking for companionship, not relationship, right? And so, like, there's a level of honesty that you can have with someone, right? Like if Jazz called me and said, hey babe, what you doing tonight? And I'm like, shit, I'm taking Christina out, right? That might hurt her feelings a little bit. It might sting a little bit, right? But it's necessary. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if I don't tell her that, if I'm not open with her, then she doesn't have all the tools that she needs to make an informed decision about me. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what guys do that fuck with women's head.
I agree, because I think at the end of the day, that's all we want to do. I want to be able to make my own decision. I don't want you to make the decision for me. And I don't want you to put me in a situation in which I'm unable to make the decision because I didn't have the information to make the decision.
Well, so I also think, and I'll say this to you, Jazz, I also think that it's important for you to push the envelope because men are collectors, right? Like if I can have 20 pretty motherfuckers around me, I will. And if they all don't ask me shit, I won't tell them shit, right? So it's up to you to sort of push the envelope a bit because we will do whatever the fuck you allow us to get away with.
Right.
100%.
People gonna do that.
People, you're right. But men are very simple creatures, KB, and you know that. Like we don't require much. I want to look good, smell good, and have a good-looking girl with me. Like that's it. Like, there's not much that we require. Women have all of these lists of shit. Like, you got to be over 6 feet and make 150,000.
When they get all these lists, man,
bro,
I can't understand what. When did y'all list get that long? I can't understand that.
Yeah, so
and our list stayed the same size.
I blame Steve Harvey. Came out with that
book.
I don't think there's anything wrong with having standards, right? Like I think standards are important. Standards are like levels in which you are not willing to go below. But a lot of women have a whole fucking character that they've created, right?
I agree. And I think it's important that there's a level of, okay, this is a non-negotiable, right? Like there should be some things that are just non-negotiable that you want in a partner.
Right.
But I also feel like that was something, and maybe it's still true to this day, but I feel like I had that type of list when I was younger. Right. And when I was younger, it used to be okay, he needs to make this. Although, that's still important because I won't say the amount is important. My lifestyle is important. So
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. So there is something there, but in terms of like, okay, 6 foot, 6 pack, this and this, like I feel like that was something that was younger. Now it's more about, okay, how does he treat me? How would he treat, our kids? How did he grow up? What, is there something that happened in his childhood that would come up when, we're parents? Like it's like you think about things a little differently. So I feel like now it's more non-negotiable things versus this is what I want. It's not necessarily a need.
And again, right? So I don't think there's anything wrong with having things that you want. We all have preferences, right? I like pretty motherfuckers. I just do. Like if I don't think that you're the prettiest babe in the room, I'm not gonna date you, right? Like that's just how I get down, But like immutable traits, right? Like to say that a guy has to be over 6 feet, like that's borderline ridiculous.
It is,
right?
Well, he can't control it, right? Like
it's something that he can't control, right? Like every man can control how much he makes. Like if a guy's making 40 grand a year, you're doing something wrong. And I'm a firm believer in that because I just used 2 of my degrees within the last year and I've been out of college for fucking 15 years. And you can make all the money in the world without degrees, right? So like if you're not making the money that you need to, you're doing something wrong. Anyway, we
got some comments too after you finish.
Go ahead, KB, read them.
All right, we got Brittany Thomas. She says, I can't speak for all, but we've been trained to expect certain things from a man. Yeah, I agree or disagree?
Definitely agree. In terms of like providing and protection and taking care of the household and being the leader. Like I think these are all things that we either saw growing up, as examples if you were in a 2-parent home or society, right?
Yep. So I agree with that 100%. But I'd like to pose this statement to every woman that's watching tonight. And you're gonna hate me when I say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. That man that you're dating doesn't owe you shit.
That was very
He doesn't. You just met him. You guys are trying to get to know each other. He doesn't owe you shit, right? And
no, you just met me. You won't let me.
So but Jazz, so I'm not talking to you, Jazz. I'm just saying like in general, right? Like you meet a guy and then you expect a lot of women, not you, Jazz, but a lot of women expect him to fit into this mold that they've created, right? Like you got to be 6 feet, you got to make 100,000, you got to do this, you got to have a house, you got to have, like, you haven't even met this nigga yet, and you already putting parameters on him.
So should we not have parameters? Should we not have any expectations?
You can have standards.
What you laughing
right?
at, Katie?
You can have standards, and standards are fine, right? But once you give a list of demands about a person that you haven't even met yet, you no longer want a partner. You want a character in the movie of your fucking life.
Prince Charming.
Exactly. And I feel like, and to your point, I feel like society does indoctrinate women, right? To that, right? Like they give them baby dolls and strollers and prepare yourself for a husband, and all the Disney movies are, you know, one day my prince will come type shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there's always this extreme of you're either like a family wife and all of that, or a career woman, right? Like society doesn't want you to have both, but I feel like you can. I feel like you can, and I actually feel like that's a great segue into our next topic. So, KB, this is one that came up, and Jazz, I'm glad that we have you on the panel. So, Black women are the most educated demographic in the country. Jazz, and I'll pose this to you. Do you think that obtaining degree after degree and climbing the corporate ladder creates an imbalance in the household structure? And are those women difficult to lead?
Difficult to lead?
To lead.
Got it. Okay.
Or date. I will add or date.
Or date. Cool.
Just to make it wider.
We can say date. I'm cool with that, KB.
So I will say that we've done this because we've had to do this, right? Like, obviously, you know, during that 70s, 80s time, a lot of our men were going to jail, like they're or on drugs, right? With not being in the household. So we had to step up and take roles. We had to be able to get better education and get better jobs because we had to be able to provide. Right. And so I think that we women, a lot of times, because I have the degrees, I have an MBA, I climbed the corporate ladder, and you know, now I run my own businesses. And so with that leadership comes a lot of masculine energy, right? It's, you know, it's boss chick, it's we have to make decisions all day, we have to do things all day because we still have to provide. For me, and ladies that are watching, you can please share and let me know what you think. But for me, where is the man that sees me doing all this shit, right? Because we don't want to do it. Like, let's be clear. We had to do it. We have to do it. But where are the men that are like, let me take a load off of her so that she can rest, so that she can be at ease? When we are in that masculine energy, when men feel like I can't date her, you know, she's a leader, or, you know, whatever that mindset is, it's because we don't trust you. We don't trust you with our vulnerability. We don't trust you with our heart, and we don't trust you to lead. So since we have had to do it for so damn long, it's just our nature. But where are the men that will step up and be like, let me take something off sis plate, right? Like, and that's why, to give an example, that's why we don't like making decisions about no damn dinner. Pick a restaurant.
Understood.
Pick a restaurant, pick a time, and let me know, you know, what time you coming to get me. So,
KB, do you want to take this, or should I?
Go ahead, man. I'm gonna come in after.
So Jazz, I agree with you 100%. right? I think that that people, alphas, only allow someone else to lead if they trust them to lead, right? And women, Black women in particular, gaining all of these accolades, doing all of these amazing things was a survival tactic. You had to do it.
Absolutely.
Right? And so any man that says that they can't handle that type of woman, in my estimation, is a weak man. He's not one that is willing to put his own accomplishments, right, in congruent with yours.
Right.
And so I think like that's where the disconnect comes, because a lot of us, we're used to like submission by force is very different from submission by will, right? Like if my woman submits to me because she wants to, that's a very different experience for both me and her,
Yeah.
right? Than me telling her she has to.
Yeah.
Right. And so I feel like a lot of men, once we reach a certain level in life, we want that boss babe, right? We want someone that holds their own, right? Because that to me speaks to a level of partnership, right? That meets me on my level, you know. And I feel like a lot of times, men want women that are beneath them for a control factor.
Mm-hmm.
Because so I got a few friends, and we told one of my guys that nigga used to date refugees, right? Like, so we lived in Miami, and like anybody that came through, pretty babe or whatever, like he would date them because they didn't have shit. And so everything that he had, it elevated him above what they knew, right? That's weak shit to me.
Yeah.
And so I do feel that there is something to be said about women having to do things, but being open to someone coming into your life and telling you that you don't have to. I think that is sometimes where the disconnect is, right? Because you have it all, because you can do it all, you feel like you have to continue to do that. And sometimes that does push us away, right? And so I am a full advocate for a rededication of Black men to Black women. I don't want to argue with y'all. I don't want to be mad at y'all. I don't want y'all to be mad at me. I won't bash y'all on social media. I want y'all to stop bashing us on social media, right? Like if we got back to a point of celebrating each other, then we could move forward together. I don't give a fuck if you make more money than me, right? Like, we balling together. I'll show you how to flip that. I'll show you how to do these things. I'll show you how to invest it. We can buy properties together, right? But I think that men sometimes feel a tad bit intimidated when a woman doesn't allow them to establish a role within their relationship.
I agree.
You got it, KB. My bad.
Nah, man. Y'all was spitting. I think I disagree with most of that though. I mean, I'm not a big alpha beta type, you know. I don't look at things like that because it's just, I feel like in a good relationship, things constantly switch, right? You're great at this. You know, and I had this idea where I wrote down like love is submission. Like, you know, if I love you, then I am willing to submit to you on numerous things, you know what I'm saying? Because I love you. You know what I'm saying? So I think when people get to a certain level, this shit kind of fucks you up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, and it comes with the territory. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a certain ego to operate at that level. Like, you have to be successful. You know what I'm saying? You just, if you meet somebody at that level, you can feel that ego, right? it's hard to separate that from dating. Some people do it, you know, but it's really hard to turn that switch off when you find somebody you love. And like you said, getting through that. How do you trust somebody to do that? You know, once you have the brain, like I know all these amazing women. I'm like they like superheroes to me, you know what I'm saying? And you know, you said dudes are pretty simple. Like I feel like dudes are still simple who reach that level. You know what I'm saying? We don't have those guards, or we don't think it's hard to find somebody to trust to take care of things. I don't feel like men, I don't feel like that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I don't have a problem finding women that'll do that. But I think with women, it does get much tougher because y'all have all those barriers and layers. And I'll be like, I ain't gotta do that. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I'll be like, oh, I don't have to fight and break that down. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just opt out. You know, and I feel like a lot of dudes who meet.
Okay, wait, pause right there. Can we pause right there? Can we talk about the opt out? What makes you want to opt out though?
Because like I'll see a lot of potential in a woman, and I'm like, oh man, she has a lot of like he said, we always gathering data. Like I'm big on data. Like that's what the whole notes thing. I'm like, oh, give me all the data. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna ask all the questions and get all the data. I'm gonna get the data to compare the pros and cons all the time. Cause I'm like, even if I'm just sleeping with you, you know what I'm saying? I still want to know what's the pros and cons there. You know what I'm saying? Like just to weigh it out. Is she great at head? And you know, I want to know everything. You know what I'm saying? But you know, when I'm looking at the pros and cons, I'm like, okay, she has a lot of pros, but I got to battle, especially I got to battle, you know, what happened in her past, all the trash. I got to battle the trash niggas that she been through too. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I ain't got to do that. You know what I'm saying? I could go find something easier or simpler, because I don't care how much money you make. It, you know, I care about our lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? So, which is different than, you know, how much money you make. So that's what I mean when I'm saying opt out. I look at the cons and I'm like, all right, she's cool. And I think, you know, she would be great, but I ain't trying to do all of that just to get to a point where I can do something easier. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by opting out and stuff.
So KB, can I just, let me tell you what I heard, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that both men and women want comfort, right? But comfort for men is very different than comfort for women.
Yeah.
Right? Like comfort for a woman is not having to worry about shit, like being able to do the shit that she wants to do, going and spending $400 on brunch. Like that's comfort for a woman, right? Comfort for a guy is a fucking lawn chair in his living room and a TV on cinder blocks, right? Yeah. Like so the level of comfort is different. And so like it's important to
got a little guess right there.
Buddy, I'm on a call. Can you give me a second? Thank you. Sorry. So comfort is different, right? And so it's important to know like what that comfort level is of the women that you want to date. So I've lived in a lot of places. I've lived in Atlanta, I lived in Miami, I lived in New York, and that comfort level is different for a lot of people, right? Like in Miami, like there is a whole gang of beautiful bums, as I call them, right? Like there's a bunch of pretty ass bum bitches.
Trademark that.
Like they got, you know, they pretty as hell, but they got 6 roommates or nowhere to stay or whatever. So they might just be fucking just so they have somewhere to sleep tonight, right? That wasn't my experience in New York. When I got to New York, bro, I will never forget my first month in New York. I had gone out with this chick, right? I had met her out. We had gone to the Viceroy in Midtown. This motherfucker was drinking Macallan 36. I just got here. Did you 3 Macallan 36s in? Them shits is $80 a shot, right?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, huh, this on me, right? She pulled out a black card and paid for our shit, right? Like that's the difference. Like, I wasn't on her level. I don't have a black card. We weren't equally yoked, as they say, right? And so I think it's important for men to understand who the woman is that they're dating, right? So that you are able to facilitate a lifestyle that makes her comfortable.
What you think, Jazz?
What the comments say?
Let's see what we got.
Look,
All right. We got Sherrod McClain talking about preach. All right. We got Brittany Thomas. She says, it's like we're proving a point so that we don't appear as gold diggers, but at the same time, we're looked at as inferior because we're trying to be independent. And she followed that comment up with, and they are not, she was saying it's not only in the major US cities too.
So let me just make this comment about the gold digger remark. So I have been at every financial level that there is to game, right? Like, I've been broke and I've been balling. And I will tell you that I have never complained about money that I have.
Yeah, explain that now.
So like, when guys are complaining about child support or complaining how expensive it is to date, or this woman wanted that, or she was I have never complained about bread that I had. If I had it, I'm spending it.
I got you.
And so there's a correlation there, right? Of like our lack of resources, our lack of capital, our lack of wealth, and what men complain about. Like, I've seen some of these niggas child support. Like, bro, you got to pay $186 a month.
Hey, mad.
And you mad?
Hey, mad, big mad.
Like,
my dad paid $40 a month, I think, for me. He tried to bring that up one time. I said, I was like, $40, man.
And
$40.
That was the 90s, but it ain't stressed that far, goddamn.
That's the thing, KB. Like we've been so indoctrinated into this poverty mindset, right? So I have an ex-partner, and we have a child together. Bro, I don't give a fuck what she do with that money. If she want to go blow that bitch at Magic City, I don't care, right? Like because she's still taking care of my baby, right? Like whatever she spends on my baby is an expense for her. So the money that I contribute to that, like, it's none of my business. Like, I don't need to have a outlined, a register of what she spends it on. And I feel like, a lot of times we, guys in particular, like, we want that because of our relationship with our ex-partners. But if we got out of that poverty mindset and we existed from a place of abundance, you wouldn't give a fuck what she was doing with them $136 that you send her every month.
Thanks.
Hey, Monisa, welcome back.
Hey, y'all, what y'all talking about?
So we were talking about Black women being the most educated demographic in the country. And then we got off on a tangent about guys complaining about the money that they spend for their children.
Yeah, but the original question was about how the higher up, Black women go, is it harder to date them?
Is it?
That's
As
what
a
we're
man,
talking
is it
about.
harder to date a woman that's highly educated?
So I think the better question is it harder for you to submit to a man if you have reached a certain level in your career?
Well, that wasn't the question, was it?
It's the way
The answer is yes.
posing the question.
What'd you say, KB?
So
that was Mark.
Monisa, you know me. I don't feel like any woman is hard to date. I just don't.
The answer is yes.
So Mark, explain yourself. Well, welcome back. Welcome back to the.
You don't even have to ask any woman that. She might not feel like admitting it, but it's like common sense.
Why do you think that's true?
She wants you to almost feel like her dad. in terms of respect.
Wait.
I don't want to look at you as her daddy, but
So
she needs that level of respect.
I'll push back on that just a little bit. Not to feel like you are her dad, but to make sure that she's taken care of like her daddy did. And I think there's an important distinction there, right? Like, and that's what I was just talking about before you guys got on, is that level of security, right? That level of comfort that women want or need. And that level is very different for different women.
I think they all want to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Even when they got money.
But bro, taken care of in Cleveland is an $800 rent. Taken care of in New York, nigga, is $5,600 a month. Nigga, that's a huge difference in taking care of.
Different.
So that's what I'm saying. Like you gotta know who that woman is, and if you can take care of her, if you can make her comfortable.
I told him when I was in Selma, you could get a 4-bedroom house for $400 a month.
Selma, yeah. Did you see my hat, bro? I know Selma very well.
Yeah, that's why I said it. When I was in Selma, you could get.
But I think one big issue, at least men have with taking care of women, is they like you said earlier, they don't feel like they owe them anything. So that is offensive to them. Like, oh, I gotta take care of you. It's like it hit their ego or something like that. It feels like. So I don't really know what's the solution there. You know what I'm saying? Or if there is a solution.
Well, so
you're supposed to want to feel like doing that.
We can talk about it from an origins perspective, right? So understand that a lot of things that are, buddy, go chill. Go sit down. Thank you. A lot of things that women like use now as standard were because women didn't have rights before, right? Like no sex before marriage, because if you get pregnant and you're not married to them, like you can't work, you have nobody to take care of this baby, right? So like that's a reason to not have sex before marriage, right? Like so like the women's liberation movement with women like being in tune with their sexuality and all of that shit. Like, I feel like that is really what.
After this question, we want to take a little break and talk about how the dates went too.
That's what led to worse dating results.
Yeah. So all that I'm saying is, ladies, I want you to empower yourselves to be whomever you want to be, right? But if you want to be in a healthy partnership, there has to be some give and take. There are things that we need from you. There are things that you need from us, right? And I want you to relinquish some of those duties to me. You don't have to do it all, baby. I want to do some of it for you.
You know how if you got a girl, she'll just naturally clean for you. She might just clean your room for no reason or just cook something for you. I don't see how people be debating on issues like that, stuff like that. They actually naturally do
bro. I had a problem with that, bro. She would clean, right? So I'll come to her crib and she would clean the space I'm in, and then she would complain that I don't clean. And I'm like, yo, I didn't even know you was doing that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I would do it. You just gotta say something. You know what I'm saying? But that was like a communication thing with the cleaning. I'm gonna try to get the rest of the guys back in too. Mo.
I'm just saying, my real life example. I have to tell my grandma stop cooking, stop cleaning. I have to tell them to stop.
What'd you say, Mark?
I said my real life, like I gotta tell my aunties and grandmas to stop cooking so much and stop cleaning up everything because they won't stop doing it. It's like they naturally do it. It's weird.
Well, tell me where you at, because I'll come there, because I don't know what to do that shit.
Nah, that's real, bro. That junker, like that's how my folks did that to me, and I didn't know anything when I got older, and I thought, oh, that's what they're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it kind of fucked me up on that, and I had to like untrain that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you know, I need to be doing this too, laundry and all that stuff.
Yeah. So I don't feel like any adult person should do their own laundry. I feel like everyone should send that shit out and
I'm
have
about to say, listen, outsource everything.
laundry is fucking stupid. You couldn't
Yeah, I
pay me to
agree.
do my own fucking laundry. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree.
Just not.
I agree. I agree.
There's no need for washer and dryer.
That shit is fucking stupid.
I agree with you there. Can we talk about the dating experiences so far, the virtual dating? We had a couple of people come back in. We still wait for about 5 or 6 people to come back in. They just came back from the virtual speed dating, as Ray and Mo said earlier. We're having these conversations, these dating topics on the front end here, but behind the scenes, we have a virtual speed dating event going on. So we got even Mo, our host here, she participated in it. So y'all tell me how have the dates been going? Has everything been smooth? Give me some feedback. Janelle about to drive to somebody's house now, look like. Okay, that was going real well. Okay. She about to pull up. What's up? Y'all talk to me.
Make sure y'all turn
Raven?
your cameras on. We can't see everybody.
Yeah, I can see Mark Tape Line, Brianna, Vaughn, what's good, bro? Jeanette, Brandon, welcome back. How's everything going? Mo, let's start with you.
You gonna start with me?
Yeah, everybody else quiet. So we
Hell
gotta warm them up.
Hell yeah.
Dang, you about to put me on the spot.
Mhm.
So for the ladies, if you did not know, I participated in the speed dating.
Okay, Mo. Okay. Give us the tea, sis.
Hey, get y'all the tea and mix company. So let's talk about Twine. Twine is a really cool platform, and I really enjoyed and appreciated the setup of Twine and how it worked. It was very seamless, so I appreciate that platform. As far as the dates, I think as with any date, you have people that you really vibe with, and you're like, okay, this is a great conversation. It's flowing, it's going. And then you have people where you're like, dang, I wish I would have had a little bit more time, because you find yourself really like, you're just getting the conversation started, right? Like 6 minutes goes by really fast. So the first 3 minutes, you're still kind of filling each other out. And then once you kind of get your vibe, you get the flow, it's like, dang, we got 60 seconds left. Okay, bye, So that really sucks. But I think, overall, there were a couple people that I would like to, connect with outside of this. I don't think everybody I don't know if everybody was hitting the share contact information, or maybe the ones that I wanted just didn't want my contact information.
I didn't even see that.
I was confused about that. I didn't know that. I thought the instructions were to tell you and KB who we were interested in contacting.
Yeah, just hit us up.
Yeah,
that was the instructions.
That was the instruction. So maybe I won't take it personal. But some people did hit the share contact information. So it's kind of hard to tell. So, the one person that I'm interested in, hopefully we make a connection.
Okay.
But,
Okay, Mo.
Right. You act like she was shy at first. She told all kind of shy.
We know Monisa is not shy.
I'm not shy, but I guess I didn't give any details that could make anybody be like, is she talking about me? Like, hopefully they like, who's she talking about?
Okay.
Is there anyone else that wants to share their experiences, or good, bad, or indifferent?
Yeah, I got pregnant.
Oh,
you have to give us more.
I see you took that mask off, so I'm like, okay, she had something going on. She took that mask off. I'm like, okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm manifesting it. I'm manifesting, y'all.
Coach KB, you ain't even got to be in the same room.
Don't kid Janelle. Don't kid Janelle. Did he hit it from the front or the back? I want to know.
Oh man, it looks like everybody enjoyed it.
Hey, I wasn't ready for my. I wasn't ready for my last one.
Sorry, hold on real quick. Jeanette, go ahead.
I thought it was fun, but it was not seamless for me. There were actually a few people where the video just, they were like, I can't see you, I can't hear you. And one time I was able to successfully refresh. The last time I tried to refresh, it just kicked me out. And
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
The last,
sorry, Trevor,
with,
that was you.
yeah, the last one, it just like kicked me out, like we're like halfway through. And then when I was talking to Brianna, when I first had it, like my mic's working fine for Zoom, it was working fine on Twine earlier. And then when I got into it, it just wasn't working. So I ended up switching to my phone later. But I was like, I got a nice setup. I'm an adult, like I know what I'm doing, and this ain't working. Make me look like I'm got, egg on my face.
The good news is that once we shut the live off, we're all going to stay and have a drink with one another. So we'll have a chance to reconnect. So if you didn't have the opportunity to connect with someone that you think that you might have wanted to, that opportunity will present itself again. So
yeah, just go ahead and shoot them a private message in the Zoom when we get off the line.
No, make it public.
Don't do that. Don't make it
I'm nosy.
You look like Montel right now. You need to calm down. This is not Ricky Lake.
I want that.
I'm drinking some wine, girl. Nah, this is me.
On my way over.
Nah, keep it private.
Is there anyone else that wants to share their dating experiences? If not, I have
I can share.
Please share.
Yeah. So I had a really good time. I think that first, Moniza kind of spoke on it, like 6 minutes just doesn't feel like enough time in general. Like I'm very much a optimistic person. So I'm like, 6 minutes, you're probably shy. Oh, you might have just been doing this. Like, I'll connect with everybody if they connect with me.
Oh, wow. You're just putting the net out there.
Very much an extrovert. Like I just really like conversation. I don't know. I had a good time. But I think more so in like the, I guess, premise of kind of some of this, there was some self-reflection happening where I feel like I'm very much a leader in conversations and relationships. And I was hoping to kind of come on and like allow somebody to just be like, all right, like here's the plan, and there's no mediator, right? So you're just immediately coming in together and nobody really is it, right? Or the leader, or however you want to call it. So I found myself being like, hi, nice to meet you, introduction, how are we doing this? Do you want to follow the prompt? Like I immediately stepped in as that person.
We talked about that earlier, Ray. We do it because we have to.
Yeah, and I didn't necessarily like, it was almost
want to. She ain't want to do that.
But I didn't know if I could, like, I don't know. I didn't want to be like, us just sitting across from each other either. And I thought some people did step up a little bit once eventually, and they were just like, hold on now. Like, here's my questions for you. And I was like, okay, hold on. Like,
I want to hear from one of the guys.
First of all, I wasn't ready for my last date because I didn't know it was going to be a 6th person. Because that person told me it's going to be 5. That person told me that.
Okay, all right.
Ended up being 6, so I wasn't ready. So I was like, sleep. Like,
okay.
He was like, dang, you look tired. And I was like, bruh.
That was me.
You know,
that was me. I popped on the screen like, hey. And he was up on the screen like this. I was like, oh, you over it, huh?
Oh, man. It is.
But yeah, that was like a surprise date.
Okay.
Was it like a celebrity surprise date? I felt like, hey,
the time frame is just like, it's like it's just a shock, like first impression, or I feel like I'm in like an improv group and we're just playing a round of and then it's like you don't really have. This is almost like a skill set in and of itself, right? Like bite-sized micro dates. You're trying to extract information. You're trying to show, some of your personality. It's funny that, me and Brianna, she was the one that couldn't hear me because I talk, and I'm the one that's like going to be like, I'll talk your ear off. I talk for a living. That's how I make my money. So that's interesting. But like, you don't want to over talk so much that the other person can't. You want to give them time to and you're trying to like, I'm watching the clock like I'm a quarterback in this, 4th quarter of the 2-minute drill. I'm like, oh shit, we got 30 seconds left. Let me let her talk for a minute and a half. Like that part. I don't know if that's what everybody else was doing. I was monitoring the clock and paying attention, so I was going for 2 minutes and then 30 seconds and trying to give some room back. But like clock management, which is like I had that from high school football, and that's dope. I didn't know I was gonna need it for speed dating. but it's like it creates a different environment. If you're not comfortable with that, or if you're not cognizant of that, this may not be the best. Like, this suits a certain type of person. Yeah. And if you're not that type of person, it's going to be tough for you to get your point across unless the other person is gracious enough to be like, oh, you're kind of taking the back seat, or you're not used to speaking up like this. Let me give you some opportunities and egg you on to ask questions that'll get you to talk more. I'm almost like Brianna said, I'm kind of being the moderator somebody has to step up and be the moderator. But if you have two people that aren't like that, what's going to happen? And if you have one person that is a motor mouth and doesn't have the presence of mind to shut the fuck up, then what happens? And that person just keeps talking.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Wait a minute,
know.
Trevor. Listen, you need to give me that direct feedback, okay?
Right. I need you to tell me to shut the F up.
No. I'm the one that talk too damn much. So I'm telling myself, like, internally, like, I'm talking. I'm like, yeah, Trevor, you might want to shut the fuck up, like, in the next 30 seconds or so. If I'm not that blunt with myself, then I'll probably keep talking.
So let me ask a question for the group. If you could take today, this experience, and do it all over again, what is one thing that you would do differently?
Bump the time up.
You as a person.
Oh. I think probably coming prepared with things like vital, crucial information that I might want to walk away with. Because I feel like I walked away not really getting the essentials. Right. And there's no way to get that information just without further conversation.
I agree.
Yeah, I think I heard some of your coaching that was like, don't take this too seriously. And I think I took your coaching too seriously and like didn't go off of your, like, look for the vital information. I was just kind of like, okay, let's make it fun. Like, let's keep it surface. And I think one person was like, I don't have kids. I this, and I was like, you know, that stuff matters to me, but I felt like it was too serious to ask. So I didn't. Then, you know, I don't know. So I'm with you.
I feel like I do, Brianna. Anybody is.
I definitely was just like, what's up in the conversation flow. I didn't think to ask nobody, are you single?
You gotta ask that on the dates now.
Yeah, I didn't ask anybody their age. I don't know.
There's 3 married dudes on here.
What was that term? He told us to have fun, and that's literally what we did. It was just have fun.
That's great. That's great. That's what dating should be at the beginning.
So then I'm sorry, I just got so many questions. So when we think about how we date in real life, so if you were to meet someone for a first date in real life compared to how your virtual speed dating experience was today, it sounds like how you all came into today may not be how you would normally go into a date in like real life. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Were you a little more relaxed today than how you would be in person, or would it be vice versa?
No, I think it's the opposite. I think if you're on a one-on-one date, like you're physically with someone, to me, I over prepare. Like I run all my questions out. I plan, like if I know where we're going, I already know what the restaurant's gonna look like, or just everything in general. So I'm ready to go in with my questions. I already have my answers. I have the backup to the questions, and not knowing what you're going into today, the various personalities, you know, the atmosphere that's around. I think one of the guys who was talking to me, I had a coworker walk by and ask, hey, what do you guys do? What do you do at work? I'm like, hold on for a moment. But for this one, I don't think you can really prepare for impromptu speed dating because you really don't know what you're walking into. So you can't really prepare the way you want to if you're actually going on a physical date with someone. That's just my personal opinion.
So could that work to your advantage as women, speaking for the ladies? We tend to over-prepare, overthink, overanalyze, right? We have everything figured out before we go into the date, which could actually work against us. Opposed to today, we don't know what we're walking into, and we're just going with the flow, being open-minded and having fun. So do we think that when we think about how we may typically date in the real world compared to how we dated today, do you think that maybe it would be more beneficial to be a little more open-minded and go with the flow like maybe many of us were today, and take that and apply it to our real dating experiences to potentially see different outcomes.
Yeah, Jess.
Yeah,
I hear from some of these people.
I was actually surprised at how this speed dating experience reminded me a lot of like pre-COVID. It was for me, it was, oh, well, it's like I just met someone in an airport randomly and we were able to strike up a conversation and then get to know a little bit. So it was way more organic than I imagined it to be. So I appreciated it a lot, and it made me think more about how important it is to you can be yourself a bit more and be just who you are in that kind of space. So I really appreciated that part of the dating.
Brandon, Vaughn, Sean, let me hear from some of these people I ain't hearing from. What's up? Talk to me, Vaughn. What's up? I see you reach.
I had a great time.
Okay.
The women were nice. Conversations were flowing. I didn't necessarily listen. I'm really more of a like go with the flow kind of guy, so I'm not critiquing, and I don't have any pet peeves. If the conversation works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, like the one in the airport, right? If you meet somebody amazing and you have a great 6 minutes before you leave to go to your gate and she go to hers, maybe you'll exchange numbers, right? And it usually doesn't go that far with most people, right? So it's kind of easy to decide. But I didn't have a problem. Everybody was super cool.
Is that why you hung up on me, Vaughn? You hung up on me, bro.
No. For me, I wanted to say that. My first, she looked at me on the screen. She just hung up. I was like, shit. She had one young lady tell me, she said, "You look like a teddy bear." And she said, and then she said, "How old are you?" Like 19. Like, no, 40. Fucking 40.
Yeah, it is. Sean, how was things for you? I want to hear from Sean, Brandon, whoever I ain't heard from. I want to hear from y'all.
All right. So to answer your question, first and foremost, KB, thank you so much for having me on the platform. It was fun. It was a great night for me. I've been on this kind of platform before. I won't say what name of that particular platform is, but it's similar to the one that we just had this evening. And I've gotten so accustomed and used to it. And plus, I'm in radio, so I talk to people all the time. I'm coming into this dating platform with the mindset of, I just want to know what your personality and your energy is. Because realistically, you're not going to know somebody right off the top within 6 minutes. I've been on speed dating where it only lasted for 60 seconds to 3 minutes. And what really will matter if you do share information with each other, or even if we share information, what really matters is what the conversation and what the journey is going to look like if we do connect, and who is going to ghost who based off of what that person may have said in the conversation, or whatever issues one person got going on in their life or what have you. That's a different conversation. So what really matters is the phone call. But to me, for tonight, it was just more so of, I just want to see where your energy is, and how you are able to answer questions in a casual conversation like the ones that we had this evening. So I was looking more so at that.
Cool. Brandon, what's up with you, man? You're on mute.
You're muted.
I still can't hear you.
He's been having issues the whole time.
Yeah, it might be an audio
Well,
device.
while he gets his audio together, I'm about to put y'all on the spot. So by a show of hands.
Don't do that.
It's not gonna be a spot, just a semi-spot. By a show of hands, how many have at least one person they want to connect with?
Yeah.
How many of y'all have at least 2 people you want to connect with?
Why you gotta put our business out there?
Right, right. She's teaching us put us on the spot.
Then I'll put y'all on the spot.
Ain't nothing wrong with being honest. What's wrong?
But wait, are you answering too? You
no, I'm asking y'all. I'm asking
No.
No. We're not doing that.
I mean, she shared she got that one.
Yeah. She's got strong hints too.
I got like 2 to 3. I mean, it was only 5 of them.
You hear me? You hear me? Isn't that the magic? That each one thinks the one.
Yeah,
we can hear you, Brandon.
This one.
Go ahead, we can hear you.
Yeah, talk
We
your
can
talk.
hear you.
All right. So one thing I'll say is I want to say thank you to the women that I did go on dates with. I want to say the energy was good from the standpoint that they had a very welcoming energy. And when I say that, meaning that it wasn't like sometimes when you go on dates with people, they can have all right, I'm here now, you impress me. And that was not the energy at all. It was like, hey, I'm here. I'm excited to talk to you. Let's get to know each other. And so that was really good. Everyone that I had my date with was very just good energy. So I would definitely say that. So I appreciate that for sure.
That's dope. That's
Thanks,
dope.
B.
Yeah, that's dope. Now Mo, I don't know if you had any more questions. It sounds like you got a list over there or something. But
Legit, like, did she write this stuff down?
He probably did.
It was just, it was just coming to me. Maybe it's
got
the
you.
wine. I don't know.
now we only got through I think about 4 of our topics. Ray, you want to jump back into one of our topics? We can talk about this as a group.
I do.
We're gonna do one more. We're gonna do one question, and then we're gonna wrap up. Yeah.
One more. I just want to say that I'm happy that you guys had a great experience, or a good experience on the dating platform, and thank you guys again for participating. So this was something that was posed to us by a very good friend of mine. So she said that she wanted to talk about men considering themselves to be the prize. How do you guys, ladies, how do you all feel about men that think that they're the prize? And guys, I want you to jump in as well and tell us if you think that you are the prize. If you want me to go first, I'll go first.
Please go first.
No.
My thought is, why would they not? Why would they
Speak
not?
on it, Jeanette. Come on, baby. I'm listening.
But I mean, I think that
she's pandering to the men. She's pandering to the men.
Well, keep pandering. Keep pandering, girl.
We have something that we are offering. The way that my mind works is, if I'm going to pair myself with someone, it's going to be because we both add value to each other. So he better be a prize. Why would I waste my time on someone who didn't consider himself that way?
I agree. I think that, both of you can be a prize. I don't think that either just the woman can be the prize or just the man can be the prize. We both are the prize, you know what I'm saying? And so I completely agree with what Jeanette is saying, because I want somebody that in my life, and I think I had this conversation with one of the gentlemen on the call, like, I want someone that I can learn from, someone that I can grow with. So if I can learn from you, if I'm humble enough to be able to say that he taught me something or he made me better in this area, that's a win. So I want that prize. And so I don't think that we should have that mindset that only women could be the prize, because let's be honest, there are women out here that, I mean, come on now. Just like there are men out here that, come on now. So I think that it's fair to say that we need to be uplifting each other up and honoring what we both can bring to the table as a man and as a woman, right?
So I think with that, though, with the whole prize conversation or how you perceive yourself, I think we all are prizes, right? But it's also about your delivery and how you put that energy out there. Because you have a lot of people who come off with the I'm the prize, but it's a lot of arrogance. And with arrogance, sometimes you turn people off on how you, you put it out there. And I believe that each and every one of us, we have something to offer in our relationships, whether they're true relationships or situations. It's just about your delivery. And that is the piece I believe that is lacking in a lot of relationships, or why we can't be in relationships, is because of that arrogance. And a lot of us we got to that point where, one, we're not going to entertain it. We're not stroking egos anymore. We're all to the age where we often meet on each other's level. And quite frankly, like if I find somebody that thinks a little bit too arrogant for me, yes, you may be the prize. You may have a great resume. However, I'm not going to waste my time, because I'm not going to deal with the arrogance or the cockiness that.
I kind of feel like the arrogance comes with the phrasing of prize, right? So I wish we matched first, because I hope that my opinion doesn't deter anyone from wanting to be with me. So just kind of ignore anything I say if you disagree. But I just feel like the idea of being a prize is something to be won versus like a gift or something like that. That's where it's not even so much that I care that all of the men are starting to feel like the prize, or even women. It kind of is in alignment with that arrogance. I feel like we're all gifts instead. Like if we look at each other as like gifts to one another versus a prize to be earned and won, I feel like that's where the narrative kind of changes. And if you are coming at me like I'm a prize, and I'm coming at you like, well, I'm, a gift, like you're welcome. Like, then we're not in alignment, and that's where we kind of aren't meant to be, so to speak. But
yeah,
if two prizes are coming together too, they're not gonna work either. So I think really just identifying what you think you are and finding that match, so to speak.
Can I get
like that?
Yeah, I like that too.
I want to chime in real quick. I want to come behind these two ladies here, because you all hit it right on the nail. And I was saying to one of the daters previously that I feel like I am a 60-year-old man in a 38-year-old body because of how my brain is working. So to say that is like the prize, I think it has become a very trendy word on social media, just like any other word. I don't think we should look at each other as prizes. Because I come from an Africa, I think we should be looking at each other as kings and queens more than so prizes. Because let me just paint a scenario to everybody. Say, for example, you do win a prize. You might be on a game show or whatever, and you won a prize, right? Sometimes people throw prizes away. Sometimes people trade prizes in for whatever, or give prizes away. So it's just like, in reality, in relationships, yeah, you may want a prize. And like what Deanna was saying a few moments ago, it may come with arrogance. You may meet a guy who is tall, dark, and handsome, 6 feet tall. He got a nice job. He makes over 6 figures. 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", don't matter, 9, Shaq height, Shaquille O'Neal's height, whatever. So you may meet a guy who has all those things, right? He could be the prize, but he could be narcissistic, he could be arrogant, some flaws about him that you don't like. And so now you probably ready to throw that prize away. And then what? You're going to go out and get another prize. So I just think more so in the line of enlightenment, if you will, labeling each other or labeling one particular gender as a prize, it just, to me, in my opinion, it just doesn't sit well to me. Even when it comes to value and all that, because I know people in relationships that don't even put their spouses on wheels or put them on a estate plan or whatever after they die or before they die. So is that really a prize? So just from a realistic standpoint, I think we should just be looking at each other as potential kings and queens and compliment each other, or like gifts, like a gift from God or something like that. Something that's more enduring, more empowering than just prizes. But that's just in my humble opinion, though.
I'd like to reply to say that I'd like that everybody's having the diversity of opinions on this type of topic. And I think to kind of piggyback on that, the focus that I'm looking at is not so much that I'm a prize or that you're a prize. And I think that's something that has been passed over from previous generations, and we're still dealing with that. I think viewing yourself as a prize is a way of you like manifesting your own self-value in terms of not being devalued by somebody else treating you a different type of way. So it's a function of your ego in a positive way that can help protect you, but also in a negative way that can lead to arrogance. The prize I'm looking for is a healthy relationship. So it's not so much that I'm a prize or that you're a prize. We're working together for the goal of a healthy relationship, regardless of the semantics of how we view or how we characterize the dynamic between us. The function of the relationship being healthy is the goal that we're working towards. So if I'm talking to someone who views himself as a prize, I would kind of look past that to see like, okay, why are you presenting yourself this way? Why is it a way that you feel that you need to express that to me, that I have to earn for this? Because the thing I want to work towards is a healthy, functional relationship that will stand the test of time.
Go ahead, Ray.
You better say that, boy.
So,
and Mark say why he said it's a lot of cap. He seems to disagree.
I don't think
we're gonna call Mark out in a second. I know Ray had his hand up for a minute, but then we definitely about to put Mark on blast because I saw that too.
So I think that one of the things that we're overlooking is that a lot of times men will assert the same things that women do, and then women take issue with it, right? So I don't necessarily think that a man is saying, oh, you need to win me, right? But he is asserting the same things that a woman does, right? And then I think that women are inherently hypocritical, and it's just based on the way that you guys are conditioned from a societal standpoint. And we can go into that a little later. We touched on it a bit. But so the thing that I wanted to say is that a prize is a commodity. And if any woman considers herself to be a prize, that is a commodity to be bought, sold, or traded, right? And so if you consider yourself to be a prize, and then I treat you as such, right? Like, then you take issue with the commoditization of yourself, your worth, your body. So we take these phrases and these things that women say, and then we throw them back at you, and we get pushback on that. So I don't like the term prize at all. I'm not a prize. I don't think you are either. I think you guys should strive to be partners, not prizes, both men and women. Sorry.
I just feel like we're getting really deep about a choice of words. Like, yes, everyone has value. But if I am engaging with someone, I might not necessarily find them valuable to me. So I guess for me, when I'm thinking about prize, I'm just thinking of when you see someone and you decide that that they are valuable and that they are perhaps someone that you are open to attaching yourself to.
Yeah, I think you have your perspective on prize. I almost didn't want to include it in what I'm saying, what Ray is saying, because you sound like you're coming from a healthier perspective. It's
value and prize aren't synonymous to me. So I agree with you 100%. So establishing value in your relationships, right, is important, because I feel like if you have people in your circle that don't establish value within your life, they shouldn't be there, especially at this point in my life. I don't know how old you guys are, but I'm almost 40, right? And so like if I'm constantly pouring into other people and not having my cup replenished, right? Like that's not where I want to be. So establishing value, Jeanette, I agree with you 100%. But for me to stand and consider myself to be a trophy to be won, right? Like that, I feel like that's not where I'm at in my life. That's all I'm saying.
I think that some people sometimes don't have a baseline of where to get that from in the right way. Meaning that that's what I think, and that's what starts to get, okay, well, so they don't have that baseline, they look to different things to give them the baseline. The things they're looking at are totally off and skewed, and they're basing it on that, which leads to this conflict of, well, listen, I'm the prize, or this and this. But it's like, no, before you establish that, you need to get yourself like set at ground zero of, what that baseline is for you first, what it means, and then gotta kind of go from there.
Yeah, and B, to your point, bro, and I agree. Like it seems like Black men and Black women are in competition with one another. And I don't want to be in competition with y'all, right? Like I don't think that we're equal. I think that we're complementary. I think that you guys do things like much better than we do. There are some things that we do better than you, and we need you, right? Like I wouldn't ever be arrogant enough to say that I don't need a woman in my life. There's absolutely value that comes to my life from having a woman in it. You know what I mean? And so like the whole idea of like an independent woman, like it essentially diminishes the value of the Black man. And that's why we take issue with that whole notion of you don't need a man or you can do it on your own. Cool, I know you can, but we're telling you don't have to. And we just want you guys to open up to us, right? And be open to building for us to establish value in your life.
Well, the thing I would say
to be fair though, like I think the whole idea of like independence and wanting to have like your own identity comes more from like the pushback against like the white male heteropatriarchy that basically convinces other people that it's important to oppress women in general. And so I think that we can't have a conversation about like financial independence or independence in general without tackling violence that happens to women at the hands of Black men and other men, right?
So I agree with you. And one of the things that was brought to my attention that I had never accounted for is that I exist within a white male patriarchal society in which I am second on the totem pole. And I had never accounted for the harm that I cause to other people based on my existence in this system, right? And so those are conversations that are important to have. So I agree with you, right? But one of the things, and I think I just told KB this the other day, I will never bash a Black woman or a Black person on social media, right? Like I feel like those are in-house issues, right? Like if there's something that needs to be said, I won't give white people or Hispanic people an audience to see us bicker. You know, like if I have an issue with that person, I'm gonna take it to them. And I know that we struggle with like being accountable for everyone that looks like us, but there is some level of responsibility there.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, can I talk now?
Mo, I thought it was just us.
Well, I think that this is a conversation. This is a topic that can continue to go on and on and open up.
You have to wait though.
I'm sorry. What'd you say, Brandon?
There was somebody been waiting to say something. I think it was who?
Did somebody have something to say?
I think Mark want to say something.
keep
You gonna say something? Keep it quick, man. We've been
Put your head up so we know
been
you
on
want
this
to
prize thing for a while now. Santa
Well,
Claus
let me throw this disclaimer out there before anybody else speaks. Mixed company is a space where we can be open, we can be respectful, and we can have these conversations. We don't degrade each other. We can not agree on all perspectives, but at the same time, we do provide a space where people can feel comfortable to express themselves and not be judged or degraded or disrespected. So I just want to make sure that if this conversation continues, everybody has an opportunity to speak their mind, but it will be with class and it will be with respect. If it is not that, then we will end the conversation. We've never had any issues before on Mixed Company where people were disrespected or degraded or their opinions were just like totally disregarded, and we're not going to start to do that today. So I do want to just put that disclaimer out there today, right now in this moment, before this conversation continues with whoever has a comment next.
Hey, so hi. I feel like certain things don't live in the realm of my life because I don't subscribe to it. What do I mean by that? Some of the arguments that people have I just don't subscribe to it. I don't think everyone in the world lives in that place of that back and forth exchange. Like some of us, the most important thing is to find a loving partner. Us to make it what it is. And a lot of times with gender roles and like in all society and social media, and then, you know, when we have forums like this, then we, you know, it can get a little like testy, right? Because everybody has their past experiences. But we are seeing people that don't live in the world that we're looking at, trying to find what is the best relationship for us to be in. Like some people really just lead with love first and find someone to love. And I think that's more important than like dissecting it all the way down, because sometimes you just get down to dust. That's
all right. Everybody prized out.
He's trying to distract us with a baby. I just want to put it out there.
Everybody.
He knows exactly what to do to shut us up. He's like, look, women, a baby.
That's why we were listening.
Well, this was a great conversation. This was a great event, and we definitely appreciate everybody's participation, everybody's perspective, all the wisdom that was brought to the conversation earlier in the event when we weren't a part of it, but then also after when we all were able to engage in this conversation. I definitely want to thank you and shout out KB, Ray, and Jasmine for, you know, holding it down and having the conversations. And I can't wait to listen to the playback to see what y'all was talking about while we were in our dates. But for those of you that were tuned in today, as always, we appreciate your support and always just, you know, supporting Mixed Company and watching. We always appreciate you. This actually is the last episode for the season. So this is our goodbye for Mixed Company until we see you again. I don't have an exact time frame of when that will be, but still keep an eye out for all things Mixed Company. We're still going to be doing things. I'm still selling the Conversation card deck. So you can go to MonisaMason.com and purchase the Conversation card deck. Game nights, family nights, any gatherings that you guys have coming up this summer, barbecues, definitely purchase the card deck to get the conversation going. So yeah, I think that's all that I have. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little tipsy.
Yeah.
But this was fun. This was fun for sure. All of you that are on the call right now, we ask that you stay on for a few minutes. But before we end the live, KB or Ray, is there anything that you would like to say to close us off?
KB, you want to take it?
Yeah. Like Mo said, I want to thank everybody who's here, all the people in the comments. We missed a lot of comments, but there's some good comments out there. So appreciate the comment warriors, the chat warriors, for sticking out with us. Yeah, I mean, dating is, like I said, dating is such a, you know, it's such a crazy thing right now, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, we want to have these conversations so it's not as difficult. Everybody's on the same page, just to make it easier and more mindful, more, you know, a better experience. So appreciate y'all coming on. You know, at Dating Explained, we got like a ton of dating events coming up. You know, we're gonna start doing these virtual speed datings every month. So you know, kind of opening it up, so people can, you know, just connect. You know, like I said, I ain't gotta be on no dating stuff. You know, if you just wanna, you know, if you might meet a good friend, like y'all might have met somebody here who might be a good friend for y'all. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna be opening that up, and we already got like a bunch of other dating events, you know, big game shows and all kind of stuff. So, so you know, rock with Dating Explained, rock with Mixed Company. You know, when they come back, we gonna be back with them. You know what I'm saying? We definitely want to hook up with y'all again. Yeah, and appreciate everybody coming, man. Y'all really came through. You know what I'm saying? I humbly appreciate y'all. Cheers, man. So what happens next, Mo?
All right, that's the end of our live. Ray, can you close us out? Stay on Zoom, y'all, so we can close this event.
Where the cup set though? Ain't got
Ray,
no cup.
Ray, can you stop the recording too, please?